Hello again. Hello, how are you? Hi, is there anyone? Hello, are you there? Hi, can you listen to me? Hello, please try to answer to me. I'm trying to test my audio with you. So please try to answer something. I want to know if you can listen to me. Okay, that's extremely important for me. Um, well, it's just okay. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Ariel. Can you listen to me? Hello, is there anyone? Okay, hello. Well, so you are from New York. Okay, so I'm going to start with training. Okay, well, so we are going to start that. First of all, I'm going to present myself. I am Pablo Barroso. I'm going to be in charge of this training during these 10 days. Okay? Please try to answer with the chat. Can you listen to me? Can you listen to me? Yes. Okay. So I'm going to continue to explain this. Well, Ariel, welcome to these training sessions. My apologies for the invitation that I sent to this training, at least in your time zone. This is going to be from 9 p.m. until 1 a.m. Okay, so that's the schedule that we are using for this training. Then something more, I'm going to use. But if you want to talk with me, you have to use this section of chat, the section that you have used, to talk with me and to ask me any question that you have. So I'm going to all the time asking you, did you understand? Did you get it? And so on. So these kind of questions to know if you did understand all the things that I have said. Something more is, well, the course is going to be 10 days, 6 days of advanced architect course, and 4 days of the developer course. Okay, so let's start about this. Well, I am a training specialist. Um, I wish to know what is your background. What are you a developer, manager? Which one is your background? Work history or whatever that you can tell me about you. What do you do? Okay. So am I ready to start? No problem. Okay. I'm going to start. Well, we first start with a presentation of all our of what we do. Okay. So I'm going to start with that. I'm going to press on F11 to make it full screen. Now I'm going to present all the course before entering to our first lesson. Okay. So, well, first of all, let me introduce you to about us. Well, Process Maker is a company, okay, founded in 2000. Our core business is to produce software and software add-ons, software applications for BPM systems. Okay, that's something that we do in Process Maker. We try to produce these type of things. It has been founded in 2000, as it says there, and we have offices over the globe: United States, Bolivia, Colombia, United Kingdom, and France. So in these five countries. But also we have a wide network of partners where you can find in Indonesia or in Nigeria, depending on where is our partners. We try to combine both things, offices, and also partners who want to represent us as some commercial issues that we have with them. Okay? Then, well, the recent awards. The last one that we had is the Edison Awards of 2019, so today's year. And then we have Stratus Award 2018 and Aragon Research 2018 Hot Vendor. Okay, so we have this. Well, there are many awards obviously, but I'm showing you because of the space that I have in this slide. I'm going to show you the three most important awards that we have won. Let's see the course intro. After completing this course, you will be able to design and map business process. Okay, this is something that I want to make a difference and it's going to be very critical in all the course. Okay, design means that we are going to arrange some of the tools that we have in Process Maker and we are going to represent reality. Okay, to represent a real business map, a real business process. So we are going to make a reflection of reality through the BPM platform called BPM, and in this case, Process Maker. Process Maker is going to enable us to, to make this action of design. But then you have the map business process. What it means mapping? If you have a business and you have some activities, you know that these activities are important and you need to map them. You need to gather this information and start working with it. That's mapping a business and taking all these elements and mapping them, taking all the tasks and start to work with them. That's mapping. Once that you've mapped the business, once that you map all of it, you start to design. And the design is that one. The design is when you map something, you can start making the design of that. The design is going to be a more wider, it's a more open experience, because with that we are going to start constructing the process, we are going to start adding some value, adding some customizations. It's a very ample way. And that's why this course is the advanced architect, okay? Because we want you to become an advanced architect. We are going to train you to become a designer, okay? So you are going to bring all these elements, and maybe if you have your process and you want to expand in some tasks or create some customizations or customize your map design, so you can do it through Process Maker, through with BPM. So you are going to start separating things or extracting more information by doing that. So I'm going to start, for instance, if I know that I'm going to collect invoices, I'm going to gather this information, but I want to know if there is an approval previously. So I can make it a fully detailed map by introducing a model task previous to the reception of the invoices. I'm giving you some examples that you can apply all of this knowledge of BPM. Actually, the acronym of BPM is Business Process Management. Okay, it's a management system. I don't want to talk about that right now because we are going to discuss later. But that's the first part: design and map business processes. Then you have the next part, and it says create dynamos, input and output documents. Okay, this is something very critical. Why? Um, all the three documents that you have there, Dynafor, input and output documents, all of them are documents that we use and they interact with customers, with final users. Okay, so by making this interaction with a Dynafor, a dynamic form, this type of form is a set of fields, and in this set of fields we are going to have associated some variables, and in these variables we are going to have some content. Okay, so that's a dynamo. The acronym means dynamic form. So it is one of the ways in which I can introduce information in process making. Dynaforms use this type of concept. They are going to gather information that you are going to type, they're going to input in all the fields. And these fields are going to receive values. These values are associated with variables. And that's how Process Maker is going to interact with also its backend form. Input document and output document, I don't want to talk about them independently if I'm going to describe some features. Both of them are going to treat documents. Input document is the structure that I'm going to be for the reception of a document from outside Process Maker. Process Maker has its own universe, its own construction, okay, its own boundaries, and if Process Maker needs to receive another document from outside these boundaries, so you need to have some structure, and this structure gives some ontological background, ontological parameters for conditioning the existence of this file, this document that I'm going to introduce into Process Maker. Okay, so in this universe called Process Maker, the input document is data structure. I'm going to make a brief summary of that. That indicates what type of files I'm going to introduce there now in Process Maker. Then you have the output documents. The output documents is something a little bit different. It's also the way that I can treat documents, but an output document allows me to create a document based on the data that I have in Process Maker. That's an output document. I'm going to take that document, I'm going to receive that one, I'm going to introduce the output document, and then send out from Process Maker. Okay? So it's a way that I can create documents based on Process Maker data and then send it out. Okay? That's an output document. All the things that you can find is the user, the third point in the course intro is the use advanced Process Maker features to completely automate the business process. What does this mean? When I talk about the advanced Process Maker features, it means that I'm going to give you a set of tools, but this is going to prepare me for some of the requirements that I need as a customer. But there are additional tools. For instance, there is a tool called WebEntry. This tool is going to help me to receive information, and that's the word. I'm going to receive information from external customers. Okay? But as long as I'm going to explain during this course all the activities, I'm going to introduce you to some aspects that you need to study in Process Maker. But right now my point is design and model, design and map, design and map. Okay? Because the rest you are going to see that these tools are going to be adapted according to our needs. But we need to have the basis, the design, the process defined, and what is the objective of that process. I'm going to move to the next part. Okay, let's end that. What is the agenda? I'm going to provide you all these topics. I'm going to discuss about them. Actually, we are obviously in the first part is the introduction to BPM, BPMN, and Process Maker. Actually, I'm talking about that right now. Well, I'm going to present you some set of tools as what is BPM, what is BPMN, what is Process Maker. So I'm going to show you some of these interesting features, and it's the first part of the agenda. Then I'm going to introduce you today to the BPMN projects. What does it mean that once we have received this long background, and I'm going to be honest, we are going to have a lot of theoretical background in this first session. From that, I'm going to make more practical things, okay? I'm going to show examples and examples and examples, okay? But for now, it's going to be a long introduction that I'm going to give. It's around almost 2 hours and I'm going to give this type of introduction, okay? Which is this one? Introduction to BPM, Introduction to BPMN, and Introduction to Process Link. 3 of these elements that you are going to understand how they work. Then you have BPMN projects. In this chapter, we are going to start making the construction of our own processes. So we're going to play a little bit, we're going to have some distractions, some exercises to do in Process Maker. So one of the first lessons where we are going to enter after 2 hours we're going to enter to this topic is the BPMN projects. In such BPMN projects, you're going to find a vast amount of information that we are going to provide you about BPMN's icons that we use and so on. So we are going to introduce you to the design of a process. Model a process, the modeling of this process. The 3 is going to be HTML5 responsive Dynaform editor. The HTML5 responsive Dynaform editor is going to be a tool that I use where I'm going to introduce all the fields. So what is the Dynaform? The Dynaform is a dynamic form. That's the acronym, okay? So that's what it shortens both terms that we use to describe a dynamic form, okay? And we're going to see the editor, the possibilities, a handful of possibilities to introduce some quality, some visibility, some to enhance the applicability of these elements called Dynaform and also the HTML5 responsive component associated to the Dynaform. Okay, it's a very rich session because we are going to explore a lot of things that we use in Dynaform editor. Then you have 4, user management. What is the user management? I'm going to speak about this very clear. When I speak about user management, my introduction, the way that I'm going to introduce this concept is that Process Maker provides you a tool, provides you a menu where you can start arranging, managing your stuff, distributing them according to your needs. It's just that. That's the user management. In such section, you're going to learn how to use a role, how to create a user, how to use a department, how to use a group. It's not a very extensive chapter. Sometimes it's less than 2 hours. Very short, very short. But it's critical because you're going to assign users. You have to know how they behave, what is an account of a user in Process Maker. Okay? 5. Database connections and reports. What does it mean this? We're going to learn how to make connections with a database. I'm going to explain the connections, how you're going to interact with your DBMS, your database management system. You're going to also learn these connections, the reports that you have. So you're going to see plenty of things that you can find there. Database connections and reports is going to be an extensive approach from what we are going to start learning and doing things. Okay, database connections is going to provide us what we can call it the connection with an external database, And reports are tables that we create in Process Maker. Well, reports is about reporting in general. We're going to obtain input data from Process Maker and start making the analysis of these data. Now, in this chapter 5, we're going to introduce some topics like PM tables, tables that I'm going to create outside the database in Process Maker, but once that I create in Process Maker, it is going to exist in the database. Then, well, we're going to see report tables also, and some tricks for enhancing the design of the diagram. There you have the chapter 6. The chapter 6 is going to be about input and output documents. So in the case of the input documents, we are going to learn how we can prepare all these fields, okay? How we can take all a Dynaform, excuse me, how we can take a document, a file from outside Process Maker and introduce them in Process Maker. And there is an structure called input document that allows this entering of that file. So this form is going to consist of many details, many references that I need to study. The output document, on the other hand, it's different. I explained this, okay? It's a file that I'm going to create based on the data that I have in Process Maker. But it's not something that I'm going to focus just to say, okay, it's an output document and that's all. We're going to see the design, we're going to see the richness of code, the capacity to work with some HTML language or with some details, with some technical elements that we can use to make it, to improve, to emphasize on the quality of your output documents. Okay? Chapter 7 is going to be dedicated to JavaScript and Dynaforms. We literally we study in this chapter the influence of JavaScript in Dynaforms. Okay, so we study in this chapter how to use JavaScript and how to make some modifications and additions if necessary in your Process Maker event. So it's basically that. That's the JavaScript in Dynaforms. Okay, so we are going to see that once we are going to move the hand on the mouse, we are going to click in a section that says Add JavaScript. And well, JavaScript, a front-end language, is going to enhance the user-server interactions, and it's going to be a better or an opportunity to improve the brand value. Triggers. Well, the triggers basically they are PHP codes. We're going to study that, how these PHP codes are going to make some actions that it's possible to make them manually, but maybe it would take a lot of time. So as you know, programming language enable us to use better data, to use better approach to work with this information. Okay, that's the that's a that's a trigger. It's a PHP piece of code. That's a trigger. And once that we introduce that piece of code, we can start working and enhancing some qualities, some functions. That's a trigger. 9. Process configuration. Once that we finish everything, we're going to have the process configuration. We close all the things. We're going to arrange all the elements that we have designed for our process. We're going to start putting them in order and arranging all of them. So that's the process configuration. We are going to work with this information, join them and present it. So that's a process configuration. Okay? Running a case. Our process is arranged. Running a case is going to be just experiencing the final user experience. You're going to have this feeling of using all the buttons, all the subdetailed text fields as a final user. Okay, you're going to see your own product, your own project working. And 11 is going to be the advanced options. Advanced options is going to provide us, in this case I'm going to study, it's going to provide us many features, and you're going to see first web entries, then you're going to see case tracking, then processes, and finally you are going to see the part of message events and time events. Okay? It obviously changes depending on what are the important things and critical things that we are going to do today. But that's the advanced option. Okay, so as long as we go through the week, I'm going to see which are the features that we are going to see that are the most important and better. Once finish the course, I'm going to send you an email. In such email, you're going to find some references talking about the Process Maker certification process. So we are going to enable you an exam. This exam is going to consist of 40 theoretical questions and one fully automated process. So I'm going to talk about that one fully automated process. It's the question 41, and there is a section called tasks to be evaluated. In that section, please, that process should contain what we expect about that. Now, if you show a very brilliant work and you didn't present, for instance, one of the features that I wanted, I can excel that. I can, not excel, excuse me. I'm going to consider that, okay? Our objective for this training is not to make things complicated with an exam. It's to make you learn. We want to diffuse this. We want to spread this knowledge. So we want you to know how to use Process Maker. Finally, you have a certificate, 100 points in total. Well, next step. What is Business Process Management? BPM. The famous BPM that we have talked all the during this week. What is the BPM? Well, the acronym is obvious. It says Business Process Management. That's the BPM. The BPM is the Business Process Management. What it means that? Well, it's a system of management where you're going to consider your activities, your business activities, as processes. Okay? So we are going to see reality, a business reality, through these glasses. So with these glasses, we are going to determine the mechanics that we apply for a company and also how it looks like in Process Maker. Well, so I'm going to read the three boxes that we have there. It says a comprehensive, well understood and documented set of processes, yes. An approach of process improvement by monitoring business process. Use of software such as process modeling to automate and optimize processes. BPM methodology. Well, with this I want you to focus because it's going to be the base of everything, okay? So I'm going to focus on this. It's a very long explanation this, okay? Because you're going to see how it works. Well, this is a ring, okay? And in the ring, the BPM methodology is going to consist of 4 steps, we can call it like that, where we are going to first build the process. And the construction of building a process is going to be according to what the customer expects. Okay? So it's going to be a modeling of reality to make it very close to reality. Then you have run. Run is going to be for run methods. That's all. I'm going to take data from run and well, running the case is the uses. But these uses of the process is going to gather data. Now that data of this running process allows me to have reporting. And let me show you for a moment how it works, okay? Because we're going to talk about build. Well, build, when I talk about build, I'm talking about design. And I'm going to read these 4 points and explain each one of them. Intuitive drag and drop interface meets the requirements of most business processes, BPMN compliant, and easy customization and implementation. Well, what it means is intuitive drag and drop interface. Since I'm going to obtain some of these elements around, we can drag an element in the business process designer and drop it. So we can start working with that, with a drag and drop interface. Then you have the second point that it says meets the requirements of most business processes. What it means is that you have some requirements that, well, we have a plenty of customers and they wanted to some improvements in process making, and we have delivered these requirements from the customers. You're going to see that there's a lot of things that you can find using these requirements of the business processes. Okay, so we are going to meet those requirements of business processes. BPM and compliant. What means that? Well, you have a notation. Okay. Now, in such notation, you're going to notice something very interesting in such notation. In the notation, okay, I'm going to make some universal term that would be BPMN, okay, BPMN 2.0. I'm going to use that BPMN, and I'm going to work on that aspect, okay. Well, since that happens, okay, since that I'm going to introduce the BPMN, okay, it means that it's universal. That's why we say compliant, because the standard of symbols that we use, the standard of icons, is universal. So we can't avoid that. It's used not only for process maker, but for others. Okay, it is used by others, other BPM companies. And then it says easy customization and implementation. So I'm going to have the possibility to design this customization and then to implement this not using the job description at all. So what's the point of using the PPMN, okay? Excuse me, the easy customization and implementation. We're going to notice that you don't have some approach to what you expect from the other team, what you expect by making an approach for the team. Solve all of this. Okay? Well, run. It says easy to use 100% web-based dynamic forms, built using responsive design tools, strong VPN engine, equipped to send notifications. We're going to talk about the first one. Easy to use 100 web-based dynamic forms. Okay, what means that? Also, someone acquires books, maybe there is something that is very interesting behind. What is this? This association of process and curve, okay? You have case studies in a service, okay? And the way that you can access to them is by a host name or by a domain that you're going to publish and so on. So the server is going to receive the requests, requires of all the users. So that's basically the idea. The idea is to make it 100 web based. Okay? But actually all the applications right now they are online. It's something it's a feature that we should understand. It's a feature that it must have. It's not an option. It's nothing that there should be something online. Then it says, build using responsive design tools. It means that build responding design build with responsive design tools. The Dynaforms are responsive design. So they are going to transform, we have the term, we are going to transform this Dynaform, and the size is going to be dependent if it can shrink or it can be it can increase in size. So doing both things, I'm going to obtain a dynamic screen and dynamic appearance, and it's going to be adapted to the screen that it has. It can be, for instance, a large tablet, okay? Or it can be for a smartphone. So you're going to see that a Dynaform is going to be adapted to that size. It's responsive design. That's one of the characteristics that we use. Then it says, strong VPN engine equipped to send notifications. Well, in today's session and until, well, in kind of advanced architecture, you're not going to see how a backend does it. Something more for developers, okay? But the point is this one, that we have a core, and the core is going to work, well, it works according to our requests that we receive services, okay? So that's basically everything about this part of run. It's the second step of this VM methodology. Report. We're going to read, it says, immediate access to APIs, okay? APIs is straight from the dashboard. Managers and providers can track cases with drill-down dashboards. Powerful report building tools to chart process data at the click of a button. What does it mean this? It says immediate access to APIs is straight from the dashboard. I'm going to focus on this. Just follow me, okay? If I receive line one in this case, I'm going to receive this line one. There is something very important about receiving a diamond. It contains information, it contains data. So I'm trying to receive all the data. Okay? And this data I'm going to represent it in the report. Okay? All the data comes from the previous part of the methodology run. I run a case, I'm going to obtain data. I'm going to obtain dates, I'm going to obtain names, I'm going to obtain quantities, and a vast amount of data. That's reporting. Reporting allows me to gather this information and treat it. From treat it. Okay? And the first thing says, in the data access to KPIs straight from the dashboard. KPIs, for instance, is a type of report that is going to measure things like employee efficiency, cost efficiency, and invoice status. So it's going to have its own article. There is no universal report. There are many. Then it says, managers and supervisors in fact cases will bring down dashboards. Okay. Dashboard is a type of report, and I want to emphasize that. A dashboard is a type of report that allows you to have a daily account of all your activities in your company. Okay? But I want to emphasize, not to focus on this. You're going to receive information, and receive that information, and well, by doing that, I'm going to use a dashboard. A dashboard is going to tell me what is happening at the current moment. Okay? It's a big picture. That's a dashboard. It's a big picture of what is happening now. You click it and you see it. That's a dashboard. It's a very amazing tool. I'm going to explain you. Let me see. In the third session, we are going to have a third session on Wednesday. And on Wednesday, I'm going to explain how it works. Very interesting. I really like that. And also, we are going to have some features like there are some customized dashboards, okay, where you can introduce some query statements and the covered information that you need. Then it says, managers and supervisors can track cases. Okay, we read that. Powerful report building tools, chart processing data at a click of a button. Okay, there's a big star of reports, and the name is data reporting tool. How does it work? The data reporting tool has another way of using information. The data reporting tool, what it does is you're going to take information and you're going to, it shows this information, depending on the requirements that you have introduced. So if you introduce some parameters like I want my data in chart or I want my data in a table, so it's going to this reporting tool shows the information in this condition. Okay? But the most important thing that you have to understand is that the parameters you are going to define. You're going to understand that for the construction of a report, you need to have some basic knowledge about the construction of a set of values from which I'm going to extract my data and obtain the report. Optimize. Optimize is something a little bit different it's the top in the end of this cycle, but it's a continuous cycle, so it's not the final death of this cycle. Okay, always there is also rebirth, and when I talk about optimizing things, the first thing that you have to understand is how I can improve. So I have designed, I have run cases, and then I move to the third part. And the third part, what I try to do is to record the data. And finally, the step, fourth step is to optimize. Optimize means that I'm going to consider some data, and based on this data, I'm going to take some action. I'm going to make some decisions, and it says, use reporting tools to find and eliminate bottlenecks, monitor employee and process efficiency to find areas for improvement, increase productivity and reduce costs. So that optimizing is going to provide us all these, but it's going to be associated with the three concepts I have read. Okay? But I need to have a basis for implementation. I need to have some previous background. Reporting is going to provide me these information, and based on that I'm going to optimize, make some changes, even improve the design of the process, and then we will again the next part of the cycle is the same one. We're going to make a continuous improvement. It's going to be an endless cycle, dialectical approach of improving things until we obtain the best result. Benefits of BPM. Wow. BPM is a management system, and it was clear when we talk about this. BPM is just a management system. BPM doesn't pretend to make we have the benefits of BPM. So, what it means, I'm going to read the 5 points that we have there. Radically reduce physical documents and paper. Speeds up approvals and facilitates communication. Automatically generate documents and send applications. More efficient use of human resources and technology. Increase data integrity and quality. So what does it mean the first one? It says radically reduce physical documents and paper. We talk about this, the process data is 100 web days, 100% web days. Okay? It's safe. That's critical, that's extremely important to mention. Radically reduce physical documents and paper. And trying to reduce the quantity of papers, and I'm going to use the evidences provided by process maker through web-based. Okay? General. Through web-based, provide all information. Then it says second, speeds up approval and facilitates communication. Okay, you don't have to go to your boss with a piece of paper to make the approval. So you just send them and you just send a request, and your boss is going to have an approval in process maker ready to be approved. So we won't avoid that. We want to not make a run to your boss office. We wanted to use Office Maker in the sense to make all the statements the list of cases and the cases that you have to use, and then send a request through Process Maker So your boss is going to be responsible of the approval or rejection of these requests. Then it says this part, facilitates communication. Well, in the design of the processes, no? It facilitates communication. What does it mean? There is an event called email, but also there are many features, like some triggers that allow you to have to send some email. Okay, so based on that, we are going to see those email addresses. What do you have with email and so on. So it facilitates communication. Okay, this extra component it makes the interaction better. It allows you to expand the horizons and start working in a different way. It facilitates communication. Okay. Third, automatically generate documents and send notifications. Automatically generate documents, send notifications. When I say automatically generate documents, I'm going to talk about a specific case, the output document. Output documents is something that is generated process. You're creating a process maker and using it. Okay? And then it says the next part. Okay? And send notifications. Well, you're going to see some features where you can send notifications sent out to some customers, some people who are interested in that. Okay? So yeah. That's the idea of using this type of send notification. Then you have more efficient use of human resources and technology. Well, since you're going to use reports and especially KPIs, you're going to see visible evidence probably. More efficient use of human resources and technology and so on. So I'm going to speak about that. I'm going to see this data and find the evidence that it matches with the use of human resources and technology as it says. So you can improve that. Increase data integrity and quality. We're going to obtain data, real data from process data, so it makes it easier to process that information. And well, just as it's something that you can start having about some of the process. Okay? So, I think that there is discussed a lot about these benefits of EPM. We're going to move to the next one. Well, process data as platform. Um, that is, first you have this. You have, well, this is the process designer as you can see. And in the process designer, what you're going to find is a lot of information and symbols, icons, references. It has a vast amount of integrations and collection of items that you can start exploring on your own. Okay, so we're going to explain this part. Okay, and what we consider is the map of the process. The process there, it has its tasks, a daily, and then events, and so on. So it has a lot of things there. But that's the point about using this type of process. Okay, so my idea, the problem that I have is this one, is the process maker advanced architecture you can see there, and well, there you have it. Advanced art provides the process in this way. So it uses a drag and drop interface. You can drag an element, you can place it in the design space, you can start dealing with that. Well, with that you can start working with it, you can start doing arrangements necessary. It's a very interesting space. It allows you to work better with that. Okay? That's the design interface as we said. Well, in today's session, I'm going to explain fully detailed how is this works because we have a vast amount of information, fields, everything that we are going to see in the next class. Okay? Then you have this one. This is a diagram um, design is going to be list of fields. This is a list of fields. You have, in this case, it's the list of users from the department. It's a title. So I just pasted one of the non-dynasties there. The list of users from the department. But there are many things that you can explore here. But what does it mean? This is the Dynaphone designer. We are going to find their web controls. We're going to find, many things at the time. Okay? The point is that talking about designers, is talking about a vast amount of features that you need to know each one of them. If I'm going to explain this, like, I should explain this better, and we are going to talk about this topic from tomorrow. But by now I'm going to leave this as the designer. It has a lot of elements, a lot of things that you can explore here. That's the list of assignments. Okay? It's designed from and it has all these features. Okay. This one is the home interface. In processing interface, what we're trying to do is to collect cases. This is an instance of the process. It collects cases and well, we try to use that information, the collection of the way that we can collect the cases here, you can see there, and it is based on that. I can click on it, I can start using it, and so on. That's the form, that's the cases that we have. Okay? Well, okay, so just that. That's the use of home. The home interface is going to distribute the cases in many folders. On the left side, you're going to find these folders with these cases. Okay? Just that. Then you have this, the directory with these folders. You have the directory with all the folders. And okay, the point is this one that when we create how to documents or we introduce into documents being saved. And actually that's the point of using that. We're going to use these directories. The directories are going to store the information and well, this is the it's also in the home menu, and in this home menu you're going to find a list of documents will be introduce that data. Okay? Okay. Let's do the next part. Okay, this is more the user management. And in this part, we are going to find the creation of groups, requirements, and roles. We can find all of this. And what does it mean this? Um, there is this option of playing a little bit with the user. Okay, so you can create accounts of users, and we are going to do it on Wednesday. Okay, we are going to create some users. We are going to create groups, and we are going to assign users to a group. Okay, that's the thing that we done. And finally, we are going to check the part of not only the user finding, we are going to talk about governance and hierarchies, which are important topics that we are going to discuss. And finally, about that, I'm going to discuss about roles, missions, assignments, and so on. So that those roles. Okay? So, this is for this time. Okay? Um, that's the one. And that's the one. Well, this systematically approach of using users in this way is going to help me a lot. Okay. There is some question here. Hello? Can you listen to me? Right now, is it clear? Is it clear? Okay. Try to answer me, please. Is it clear or not? Hello? Can you listen to me? Please try to check your audio because when I check here, there is no problem. I have in the computer audio and no problem at all. Okay? Now, can you listen to me? Ariel, can you listen to me? Hello? Hello? Hi, Ariel. Can you listen to me? Hello? I'm going to make again some changes. Now, can you hear me? Does it sound better? Hello? Ariel? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to continue, okay? Okay, I was here. And there you have, this is the KPIs. You're going to find manager's dashboard, process efficiency, and so on. So a set of many measurements, many measures, excuse me, and these measures are going to provide me an evidence of what is happening in process. So that's the manager's dashboard, the status, process efficiency, employee efficiency, and so on. Then a lot of measures can we apply here. Okay. Connected library. With this, I'm going to close this part of the session. Then I'm going to explain some features. Okay. But what does it mean? This. Well, applications must be integrated. Okay. Now it's a requirement. It's something that all applications should have this type of integration, and it has become a new trend, and so on. So in this case, Process Maker is not going to be the exception. Process Maker is going to feature connectors that allow you to I'm going to read as it is. Now it says Process Maker features connectors that allow you to integrate internal or external applications into your processes. Well, what does it mean? For instance, I'm going to use um, DocuSign for some approval and signing reasons. Okay, so I can call the endpoint for this, the service endpoint for this, and start using that to make it work. Okay, so that's the DocuSign that you have in DocuSign. So I'm going to receive information and start clicking with it. I'm going to receive that information and start clicking with it. It can come in different forms, but we basically use the JSON format and we start to treat it like that. No? We're going to receive that information and we start clicking in that way. So, no, that's exactly, the connected library is based on that. The connected library is going to provide us many endpoints with which we can start working. Okay, this Java. That's the Process Maker features connector that allow you to integrate internal and external applications. I want to know you. What kind of activity do you have, Ariel? Which one is your activity? Are you a manager or a developer? Which one is your activity? Okay. The case of Process Maker that I work on with it, we use for many things. Okay, and also we have shown many demos about, especially Adobe Sign, and you can see the, the demos that we have used for for the Adobe Sign, but also as well for DocuSign, for both things you can use, see how is the code and how it can interact, and obviously it's another really thing because um, each of the applications we have, they need some corrections or they need some arrangements before starting. Okay, it's a very careful detail that we need to manage to make that the part that connected line. Okay, so but a vast amount, a big universe of that. Um, Look, how was it this part of processing? Did you enjoy it? Well, as a way to close now. After the course, feel free to refer to the following excuses, the following process maker resources for additional information. Free webinars. We create webinars, okay, for some topics in Process Maker that we want to explain. For instance, agent requests, or we want to explain how to make some debugging in two systems. Okay, so that's the idea of using the free webinars. So you can subscribe, you can present and you're done. No, it's a free webinar. It means that you can connect, and we try to explain some tools or provide some solutions to your current activities that you have in Process. So that's a free webinar. Okay. Then you have the blog. The blog is going to provide you some text that is necessary to discover and find some solutions there. The forum is more ample and it has some technical background. You're going to see a lot of technical background moving to the forum. Now the backtracker in Process Maker is going to show you what is happening with your variables when you start running a case. And finally here it says the Process Maker wiki page. What is this one? The wiki page is a Bible. Okay, you're going to find a lot of things in that the Process Maker has a lot of things. Well, just that it provides you a lot of resources. Okay, so you can start exploring each one of them. You can start. Well, you're going to see. I'm going to show you in a moment how the wiki page works. Okay, and also how university works, and so on. So we have a vast amount of information, a lot of information that we use in Process Maker. Well, so these are the additional, or these are the Process Maker advanced presentation. Okay. Any comments? Do you have any suggestions? Any comments? Anything that you can say? Any comments that you want to say? You want to talk about? You want to see? Is that all clear? Okay, so I'm going to proceed to the next part. Okay, this is your virtual machine. Okay, you can use the server that we have provided you to for these courses, for the 6 days of the Advanced Architect course. So you can use either that one or the Process Maker virtual machine. For my honest opinion, please use the virtual machine. It's better. Okay? Not to use too much the training service, because, for instance, you are not going to get access to some files or to get access to the DBMS. So that's why that I prefer you to use your own virtual machine. It's better. Okay? But it's not a requirement for the 6 first days of the advanced architect. Okay? For the rest it might be, but why not? It doesn't work like that. Okay? Well, Process Maker. I'm going to run here some code. Process Maker. Okay? Okay. That's the login. That's the password that I use to introduce me to this space of the virtual machine. So, but Ubuntu, all the people know it, so I'm not going to spend my time explaining what is Ubuntu. But you are going to introduce here and click on the Firefox. Okay? Okay. What is this? Your virtual machine is going to consist of these buttons. Okay? Let me show you. You have this first button where you find Process Maker as the platform to start work. This one. Then you are going to see here the documentation. The documentation is the wiki page. Then you have here PMM University, Process Maker University. Here you have your DBMS. And finally, this one is a local host, okay? This is you are going to use for external applications. We are going to see in the course of developer how an external application is created through this method, okay? That's the external application. Now, let me show you this. My platform, process name. Now notice this. This is the name of the hostname. And well, to make it in detail, because I want you to be very careful with the details that I use, this was provided by the configuration that I have used here. This one. Okay? You can see here the host name that I provide is for localhost, and I'm providing this host name. Now, moving back to this part, I introduce sys. But in here, I don't have a workspace. Now, what does it mean, a workspace? Process Maker is divided in workspaces. Each workspace is going to have its own database. So workspace is a space where we are going to have cases and processes and some features that point to something common. For instance, I can make a workspace um, for the purchase department and then for the production department. So they are going to be separate in different workspaces and different databases. They're going to have a lot of different information. Okay? So that's the workspace. Now, in here you are going to introduce the N. This is English. It's the ISO code. It's the English that we have there. Finally, you have here some template, some scheme, classic, and here login and log. Now, I want to log. I need to introduce this, the user, then the password, and then here is the workflow as the workspace value. So I'm going to log in, and there you have it. You have the admin there. So it depends that you're going to have a workspace and database, and you're going to have that. But the most important thing is that we need to start to organize our work through databases, through workspaces. We're going to use all these concepts to start working on it and start making some workflow. Okay? So just that. This is the work. This is the workspace workflow, and the first introduction that I'm going to have here is this. It's the server, as you can see here. It is the server. The server is going to have all these, well, with some configurations is going to start saying in this case the user account is admin account is going to be sent the home interface, the first one that we can show here. That is depends on the configuration. You're going to see those different according to the configurations that you receive. Okay? So just that. It's just a way to explain some of the details of the configuration and how we have this process. Okay? I'm going to click on documentation. So this is the wiki page. Okay? So you're going to see here a vast amount of information. Okay? What is the purpose of a wiki page? In a wiki page, we want to introduce all the important information. Okay? So we want to introduce you about how to use a Dynaform or which one is the control or what is a variable and so on. So everything related to process making, everything according to the needs of process making. So the first thing that you see is the getting started. So what message here? That from the start it is going to provide me the design experience, the end user experience, running a case, create a new process and so on. And with some videos that you have here below. Then you have the tutorials. The tutorials are these kind of videos. Extend report part 1, extend report part 2, and so on. So it's a vast amount of videos that you can check, see what parts of request and so on, some themes of construction, of processes, and so on. So you try to discover on your own. There's not a lot of information that we have here. Those are the tutorials. Okay? So you can also check the other section, how to build process. Like this, no? All the videos for January is step and user assignment, responsive form designer, and so on. A lot of details that we can find here, we can see. Okay, so just that. It's that I can show you all of this. Okay. Okay. Um, I'm going to go back to documentation here. The point is that when you click it sends you to the processmaker.com website, and that's how it works. Then I'm going to click the user guide here. And well, here you have the user guide. It has you have the user guide, the design, the advanced design, user experience, and mobile features. You have you have a list divided into sections. You can go to one of them and explore the topics associated with each one of these tasks. So you can see the user guide here, basic design, advanced design, user experience, mobile features, many of these that you can start clicking and exploring each one of the fields. Okay? Okay, so that's the user guide. But let's see a little bit about this. We have the basic design. And in the basic design, you can see the login, how to create your first process, managing users, roles, using conditions, and so on. So you can see a lot of this information associated with the first task. So for instance, if you can put here something like artifacts. Artifacts is going to show me explanation of the review and so on, and all these literature associated with that knowledge. Okay? That association is going to be engaged. So that's how we can use the office methodology. But not only that, let's go here. Let's see, for instance, the case of the drop-down. The explanation, it tells me this is an overview, you have to use it this way, some properties that you need, and so on. But, it's a lot of time to explore things in the office method. It is there. Um, based on this background, this extended background that we have in Process Maker, we can acquire even more by using Wikipedia. Now, it's one of the tasks. But what if I'm going to click on Advanced? Advanced are going to see some of these features, like, for instance, web entry. Web entry is going to show me all of this. How you can activate, how to use it, and so on. So how you can start using web entry, how you can that, and start using. Well, it provides you the uses, then it provides you the basics for users and so on. That's the basic feedback. Okay? If it's not enough, we just move backwards I will explore the user experience here, and there you are going to find a list of important topics associated with the review, the cases, the search, the process supervisor, and so on. So a lot of things that we can explore here. Okay, collecting this information and using it for that purpose. Okay. Well, again, literature associated. You have the overview, you have the uses, and so on. So it's up to you to explore on your own this topic or this information. So just that. We're going to see finally the moral features, and the moral features is going to consist about some moral, you know that there is of course the moral. So we're going to see all of these moral features associated. For instance, the moral fields. Let's see some moral fields. And there you have all of these is the moral fields. The class icons and so on, and well, going to show you a lot of things here. That's the moral features. Okay? Okay, that's the moral feature. Any question that you have? Is it clear? Was it clear enough, all of this? Hello? Is it clear? Ariel? Okay, no question at all. Well, when we move here, I'm going to enter to Statescope University here. Um, just I'm going to make something. Well, I have sent you some credentials to enter to Process Native University. Okay, and these happened. Okay, I just introduced my credentials here in Process Native University. My point is to explain you how it works. Okay, Process Making University is an educative platform based in Google that web editing content editor, excuse me. So you can find here some courses that we have added. It depends on also on the topic of you because maybe you have some of the options here, but not all of them. You know that we have created account, and according to that we have provided some degrees of liberty, if you can call it like that, in process making. Okay, so we use this reference, the process making free advanced scientific course. So what messaging is? Based on that, you want to work on sections. Okay, you want to work on sections, and after that, we want to work with sections, providing descriptions and so on. So that's where this kind of work. Now you can see here, for instance, VPN process. We're going to find here the title, and here we're going to find the description. okay? But what does it mean? That you have here the HTML product, you have here a description, then you're going to have a section called for you to read. And in here you have all of this, the process, map basic tools, the tools and names, you have the tasks, dailies, importing, exporting, diagrams and processes, and the promotion manager. That's information here that you can just put read, find out information and so on. So, it's very extensive as well. Okay? And here the videos, and finally if you close the section, we're going to have this last and this quiz. Okay? This is in the case of advanced architecture. The developer space are going to be key. Okay? This is the basic thing for advanced architecture course, for this course. Okay? Well, I think that with this, everything is understood. Is it okay, Ariel? Is it okay? Do you have any questions for this? No? Are you still there? Hello, Ariel? Okay, no questions. Yeah, you're muted because the way of communication is through the chat, okay? So that's the way that we can communicate. Um, Ariel, can we take a break of 20 minutes? Is that fine? Because I think that we have gone through a lot of theoretical background and we need to make some rest, a break. Is that fine with you? Okay, so can I start right now? 20-minute break. Okay, 20-minute break. Okay, how was the break? Fine? How was the break? Okay, that's fine. Well, I wanted to know, Edgar, what do you do? What is your, are you manager, programmer, developer? Oh, oh, okay, I believe in college. Okay, that's fine. The programming language that you use, which one? Okay, you are completely used to Smith. Yeah, just if you need to do something more extra while developing, just let me know, okay? Because we have presented some different stuff, new things, new webinars based on well, the target was developers, okay? So we want to know the current trend among developers, okay?
Obviously, if I'm going to have the rest of the attendees, it's going to be difficult because maybe they are managers, they are, well, they are older, maybe they are not developers, but I trust it, okay? Well, I'm going to continue with the chapter, another section, and this section is very interesting because we are going to now go in depth to know what is Process Maker, but what is Process Maker in action, okay? Because I know that it was a 2-hour theoretical introduction with a lot of details and things, but it works like that, okay? It's the basic introduction that we do for processing, okay? It's some theoretical power. Okay, let's begin. I'm going to move here, maybe it's machine, and in here I'm going to introduce this, okay? Well, uh, I'm going to use the virtual machine, okay? Not now, because in developer course we are going to do that. But in this case, I prefer to use the terminal and introduce this. Now it's sudo, then here is process maker, okay? Then you have APAABR, okay? And well, in this part we are going to have 192, 192, okay? 168, 1, 200. And there you have it. Well, the only thing that I have applied is to find the IP address of my current process maker instance. So I have applied some code. Well, we are going to see the video, okay? And I'm going to see it many times because I'm going to get the ID to use it from the VirtualBox and use it on the host, okay? And well, I'm going to show you. This is the code that I have used, okay? I first make this sudo, and then after my password, then APAPBR, and then I change IP, and this IP, I send it to the host, okay? Obviously, you need to have the correct network configurations there to apply those modifications. Well, um, designing a process, okay? That's the title. So I'm going to move here, and I'm going to enter admin, and here workflow. Then I'm going to enter to the designer here, and you're going to see an immense amount of um, let me erase some of them, okay? So we shouldn't have a lot of processes. It doesn't make sense. I'm going to erase some of them. For instance, I'm going to erase this one. This is I'm going to erase this one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay. First, let's start deleting these processes. Okay. And then this and this one, some delete cases, and then delete. Okay. What is my process with this? Um, but I want you, okay, I want you to introduce all of this. Well, when I enter the process maker, I have many menus. And the designer menu is where I need to introduce or I need to create a process. And actually right now I am in the designer menu. Now you see this and it looks in watermark. If I click here, this is going to be named. In this part I have a list of processes. Okay? And in the list of processes I can make things like right click, edit, deactivate, or disable debug mode, delete, or export. Okay? Now, what I can do, first of all, I'm going to restart again. Okay, first of all, you're going to find these buttons. The first one is for creating a process. This second button allows me to edit the process. Okay? Then you have status, and the status when I select is going to provide me this type of status. Yes, yes, it's going to be recorded. It's going to be recorded. We record all the sessions. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to continue, okay? And even if you need to just tell me we need to get earlier with everything, because at the end of the session, what I do is to make a review, okay? I make a review on, but if you want to leave it, I can make it shorter. I don't know, okay? Depends on you. Well, I'm going to continue. Um, well, so you have all of this, invoice approval process, invoice approval process, message events, and so on. You're going to find all of this, and in here, you see you have the columns, and in the columns you are going to find the attributes of each process, or characteristics of that process. The process title, the type, this BPMN represents Business Process Management Notation. Okay? Then you have the category, but we haven't selected any category. Then you have assigned users, data created, and the cases where you can find inbox, path, this one is, excuse me, completed, cancelled, and total cases. Then you have the debug mode, and it tells me if it's on or off, depending on the type of process that I'm starting. Then you have the process type, and it's public, public, and the data. Now, if I can make here deletion, I can deactivate the process, and you're going to see that it says inactive, or I can select it and make it active. And then you have the label has changed. I can click here and make export, and I can export in two ways, as normal or as custom. If I click as normal, look at this. Here, the extension of the file is TMX. Remember this very well, because we're going to make another type of export, but for a process maker process with all the configurations, with all the settings, TMX is the extension that I use. Okay? Remember that. It's important to remember that. Then you have, okay, this is the PNX. Then you have the dashboard. Oh, excuse me. Going back. Okay. But I can make a custom exportation where I'm going to select things that I need to be selected for the exporting. Not to export all the details, just to export some of them. This is more like a promotion manager. That's the name of this picture. Then I can import a file. I select it and import it. Or I can delete cases. You know, I have shown you how to delete cases and it happened that way. No, I will delete my cases. Now, I'm going to create a process. I click on here and you're going to see that this window is open. In this window, what I need to do is to introduce the title, the description, and the category. So I can introduce this, the title. The title can be, for instance, package delivery, and the description that I'm going to apply is to these photos. I'm going to enter here. This package delivery process allows you to describe details to send a file. To send a file. Then in category I can associate something like no category, finance, human resources or operations. Okay? Based on that, then I'm going to click on create here. And there you have. This is the creation of this. Okay? But this is a very nice tutorial that you can watch and see how you can construct a process. Okay, it's a very nice tutorial. I really like it. It's pretty. Okay, then I'm going to quit this, and you will always find this start event on the left side. I don't need right now that. I'm going to raise it. We are going to construct a process to, first of all, report a package form for delivery. This is going to receive an approval and finally is going to be sent out to its destiny. Okay? That's the process that I'm going to design right now. It's not very complex, but it's the way that I'm going to show you how all the notation that I use works. In this case, in this task, what I try to do is a drawing. It's just a drawing. And actually, this section is called modeling a process. Because I'm going just to show you a drawing. So I need first to map. If you remember that word, I need to map. And I know that from a logistics company, you need first to have the process of, for instance, reception of a form and then approval. But first of all, let's start with something. This is pure design, okay? It's not mapping, it's pure design. I'm going to use this part. Okay, first of all, let me present in this spice design. This part that you can see here in blue is the top toolbar, and it makes some modifications like full screen, redo, undo. I can make a zoom here. I can export the diagram. I can export the process. Okay, and I want to focus on this. When I export the process, you remember that I told you the PMX extension. This means that it has all the configurations associated with this process. But what happens if I'm going to find the granular here? It means that I'm going to integrate here some of these objects in the process. In here is the sport diagram. Sport diagram makes me here sported. Okay. And when I export it, I'm going to receive a BPMN extension file. Okay. You see? Okay. I'm going to see what is this box. Then I can save the process. It's another option included here. I can receive some help by using some tutorials here, or move out, exit from the design space. I need to go back, click it here, and click on edit. There you have. Now in this part, its name is Shape Toolbox. This is a notation in BPM and in the business process management notation. And if you see the icons, if you find it in another BPM software, they are universal. Okay? They do not change. They are universal. Let me show you something. Just a moment, let me show you something. I'm trying to show you a BPMN, how it works, um, the standard, because we are compliant with, of BPMN. So, um, okay, just let me show you. Okay, the symbols that we find here, okay, are the same. The gateways and everything. In this case, it's from a German poster, okay? And these symbols, you're going to find it exactly here, the same, okay? So they are universal. And what does it mean? If I export the diagram is going to be read in another BPM software. And as well as we are going to have another software that uses the same BPMN to point code. I'm going to import that file and then I'm going to receive the same information. Just the diagram, the drawing. Okay, so all of these are going to represent an icon, and obviously an icon is going to have its own configuration, settings, and so on. Okay, this is the main toolbox. The main toolbox is going to provide me like the big part of the process, not where the process behaves and does it, everything. Okay, so it's like the essence of the process. This is the main toolbox because we provide message type variables, input documents, output documents, because this is just notation. We are not going to do anything at all. We need to have these elements to make it, to make, to give a soul to the process. Okay? Okay. I'm going to start with, this is the pool. Now pool is a boundary. Okay? A pool is a boundary. And what does it mean? In a pool, the most important thing that you have to understand is that I am defining boundaries. I am defining boundaries. Okay? Understand that. I am defining boundaries. Then I'm going to divide these boundaries to put all these elements into lanes. So I'm going to drag and drop the first lane. The first lane is going to be sent, prepared package. Then the second lane is going to be send package. Notice that I am arranging these and making some drag and drop. Just that. It's a drag and drop. I'm arranging the component. Prepared package, and this one is going to be send package. So, based on that, I'm going to continue with some design methods. I created a boundary, and then I used these lanes to separate, to make some divisions in this boundary. Now I'm going to design. I'm going to use this drag and drop here, and drop it here. Click on it, okay? And this event, this icon, is a start event. And with this I'm saying that I'm going to start the process from this side, from this part. If I click here, I'm going to see the display of this called quick toolbar. Okay? And I'm going to select the task here and drop it. This task is called prepare package delivery form. I recommend you to use the name of the tasks as infinitive, as an imperative, okay? Prepare the package. Now, this task requires something more. Notice that when I selected the task, this was a connector, and it tells me that this is the first task of my process because it is connected with the start event. Now, about the task, this one. I can drag and drop from here also. I need to select the task type, and it's going to be a user task. Okay? I don't want to extend to this part, okay? Because right now what I try to do is to explain you how it works. How can I model? Then I'm going to extend to the details of what is send task, receive task, and so on. But by now, forget about that. I'm going to use another thing here, okay? I'm going to use the criteria of design. But what I tell you is that if I'm going to use a task, it means that this task is going to be executed by humans. Okay? I'm going to again select here an approval and leave it here. And then I'm going to click on here and edit the label. There's going to be approved package delivery form here. And in here I'm going to select the user task. There you have. You have the prepared package form, delivery form, and then you have the approved package delivery form. Okay? So now I have the two tasks, but they haven't finished yet. I need to continue with some considerations to approach. So I'm going to continue with the next one. It's going to be this one. This is a gateway. I go and work from here, but the gateway is going to use some logic, and for instance, it can be in this case the weight of the package, and then tell me to send again the flow of work, the case, to the first task and let it continue. So it changes the direction. And it has some advisor. Then I'm going to select the task here and modify it here. And this is going to be send package. Oh, send the package. Okay, you have to be very careful with the IDs of the lanes and the tasks. So I'm going to select this as user and finally use the end event to close everything here. It's a very simple process, but let me see, and I'm going to make the interpretation for you. Okay? First of all, you have the prepared package delivery form. Once this delivery form is done, I'm going to be sent to approved package delivery form. When that approval happens, everything goes to gateway. In the gateway, it can go to the first task or it can continue. So it happens, it depends on how it works here, okay? It depends that the package delivery. If it goes here, it's going to finish with an empty event. Okay? So I think that it's very simple to understand the design. It's not something complex to understand. Okay? But the most important thing is that you have to understand how it works and how we should use all these information. Okay? Now, since this happens, I can add something more like this event. I can move it here and add it. This is an intermediate timer event, and what it does is to make a break. I can force to introduce that information and introduce the break time here to send a packet. So you can see all of this. That's the break. Okay. So well, some advices that I can give you. This is the way that you can design a process. You can model a process. I wish to know if you have any question for this. Is everything clear? Yeah, I think that it's not difficult to deal with. It's very easy. Honestly, very easy. Well, that's the design. Um, you can also make something very interesting here. You can make it this. Yes. You double click on this connector and edit this label as yes. And double click here and make it no. By now, I am not showing you how it behaves each one of the icons that you find here. I'm going to do it later, okay? Because I need you to show you how you can model a process. That's important. How you can model a process. That's my main problem. And I think that you have understood very well. So it's not hard to take some time here and explain it. And some occasions it's going to be a very extensive process. So that's something that you can discover on your own, prepare it and work it on your own. Okay? So, okay, it works in this way. So, let's move to our first lab. Okay? In Process Maker University, there is a section, PMN projects. Okay? You have to search for this lab. I can wait if you need. So I can wait you until you find the process. Excuse me, the lab. Hello? Mariel? Let me know if you have entered to the lab. Okay, let me know. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to continue, Ariel. This is a task. In the task, you can define task type. You have, for instance, send task, receive task, and so on. This is for sending a task. This is for receiving a message. User task allows me, if I click, you're going to see the icon. to, it tells me that this task is done by a user. Then you have service task, which is this one. Then you have the script task, which is this one. Okay. So each one of the task types, for instance, a service task allows you to introduce a connector and obtain details from it. Then you have the script task. The script task, what it does, um, in the script task, what you have is you have some code, and with this code with this code you can execute some commands. Then you have the manual task. The manual task represents some manual activities where you don't have to use a computer. For instance, carry some rice bags. You don't need to use process maker in this case that you want to represent. And then you have the business rules task. It uses another type of reference. That's the business rules. Okay? Business rules is associated with some rules of the business. It's applied in the video, and you can insert here that type of task. Okay, that type of task. Then you have the marker type. It can be a loop or it can be sequential, depending on the behavior that we expect of the task. Then we have steps, and in the steps, what we try to do is to use the type of configuration that we have. So I can add in the task many steps. For instance, input output, input documents, output documents, and so on. Then you have the assignment rules. In the assignment rules, what we try to introduce is a user who is going to be responsible of this task. We can edit the label, we can delete the task, or we can add some properties. In such properties, we are going to find the definitions, case labels, timing control, notifications, and so on. We're going to find all of this. The case labels, for instance, can be the title or the description here. So you can enter a title for this task when it's found, when the case is found in this task, or a description. In the timing control, you can access, well, this is going to be automatically calculated, the average or the standard deviation. For the task duration, you can access that. And you can, notifications is, if necessary, we need to notify to the next user with a message. So we can use notifications in this case. The way that you can introduce some information here. Then you have here the consolidated case. We can enable consolidate for this case. Okay. This is associated to a plugin called batch routing. So we can introduce this plugin, enable consolidate for this case. Actions by email is going to be a voice associated with some emails in a plugin. So when we activate this plugin, this is going to work. Mobile is for working offline, so you can make offline some work. Okay, that's the mobile. And so on. This is a task. Now, let me deals with this. Okay, let's begin. I'm going to use this package delivery here, and then you're going to here find the processes. This process is this one, and in here I can enter another process inside this process. Okay, like this one. Let me see if I have here this process. Okay, for instance, in this case, in this process, I use this sub-process to insert one process inside another process. Okay, if I click here in properties, you're going to find here the description of what we do, the process, the process name, the starting activity, the type that we can select. This I'm going to explain on the last chapter of on the last session of this training. Okay. If you're going to make an exchange of information, you're going to find all of this. Exactly, this is just the process of properties that you can find here. Okay, some configurations that we do in variables. Then I'm going to use this exclusive gateway here. So this is the section of gateways. Okay, this is the section of gateways. So you have here this gateway where we use this and this. So an exclusive gateway gives priority to one of the paths. Okay, that's why it's exclusive gateway. It's one path, exclusivity to just one path when we work. Okay, now a gateway has its own configurations, so you can define here some variables if necessary. Let me show you one example. This one uses some variables to define configurations and the logic of the flow that I'm going to use. Now, a gateway can have a default flow. What it means is, if everything is false, it's going to force the flow to go to the first task. I'm going to make known here, and there you have task 1, task 2, task 3. Now, this is an exclusive gateway. If I want to close this divergence of branches, I'm going to use all of this here. And what it means, this is a divergent gateway, and this is a convergent gateway. This is a divergent gateway, and this is a convergent gateway. Okay? Now, something very interesting here. Look at this. You have the 3 tasks here. The 3 of them are like that. Okay? And there are other type of gateways. I can use this one, for instance. I can use the inclusive. Inclusive gateways allow me to use 2 or more paths. It's very different from exclusive. So you can select 2 or more. In exclusive, you can select only 1. In inclusive, you can select 2 or more. And it has also its own properties. Both excluding and inclusive demand view properties configuration for the flow direction. Now, I can use also parallel, but in this case I'm just distributing the flow. I don't have properties here. Events is a little bit different. We have start event and end event to mark the beginning and the end of a process. You can use message events, okay, to communicate between processes, or you can use a start time event to manage the setting of time here. Okay? Well, there are many cases of events that you can explore on your own. It has a lot of information. This is data object, okay? And it's for storing files and so on. But now it's just icons. You don't have to do anything with that. This is a black box pool. What does it mean? It's a more advanced concept of design. You're going to see that you can communicate between both. For instance, if I move here and I want to make a connection here between that, if for instance move it here, okay, remind me how was it? Okay, the point is that you can connect. Okay, you can see the connection here. What does it mean? Um, what I try to do with this type of connections with a black box pool is this one. Okay, a black box pool is a case where you know that in your process you have an activity, a process, okay? But you don't know what is it. For instance, you buy something and you have to go through customs. But in customs you don't know what is happening there, that you need to represent it in the process. So when you don't know what is happening, you use a black box tool, because you don't know the activities. But it depends on the process. Let me continue. Okay. Then, pools and lanes you have seen. This is a pool, then you have lanes. The pool is a boundary, the lanes are divisions. Okay? Then you have the group here. Group. So in group you're going to have here the preferred, you just you mark something. Okay? You use all of these concepts of grouping as this way. It's just a way to show your description. Then you can add some notation here for text. Then you can use lasso. Okay, lasso is very interesting because, for instance, I'm going to raise this. If you have something like here, in lasso, you take both and you can move. It's a technique of design. And finally, the last thing is this validate. If I'm going to have an error in the map and take validator, you're going to see that it's going to mention me that there is an error. But if I connect it, nothing happens. You know, that's the way that it works. Well, I know that it was very fast to see that this. I can give you 15 minutes for your to finish your process and do the quiz. If you want to do it, 15 minutes, Ariel, because you're going to require to finish with that time. You know, it's not hard, the things that we have seen. Okay, let's finish this lab and the quiz. I'm going to see you out almost in 15 minutes. I'm going to check your quiz and then make the review. Now you don't have to make it again the quiz, it's fine. It's fine. If you wanted to do it on your own, it's no problem. Okay? I'm going to return the quiz and I'm going to answer the questions. Okay? It says the same. We're creating a process if possible to define the process category, the short description, and the process type. Select the current definition of each element. The full, this one, an event is something that occurs. The gateway is an element used to control the flow. New processes are created from the designer interface. Possible to add a new link to an existing flow by dragging a link from the shapes box. Version 5, the following gateway types are available in process name: parallel, exclusive, and inclusive. What's true about the gateway default flow from an exclusive gateway? It gives priority to the runtime when all the conditions are false. Going to finish the attempt, send it. There we have. Oh, I failed. Well, this is maybe this one. Yeah. Um, let's make that review. What to emphasize the very beginning. Let me go back. This. Yeah, this one. Let's emphasize the methodology, okay, because the modeling we have known that. And if you remember, we talked about the ETL methodology: to build, to run, report, and optimize. So if you remember, the build is going to be this one. It's going to consist of designing, mapping, and so on, and defining the boundaries of your processing the process. Okay, and Oh well, just that. Then, so we talk about all these parts, you know? Then we have the design, then we have the running. When I say running is uh, we have the running, okay? And in the running, you are going to find all of this, all of the different running, you know, the one you to use 100 birthdays and so on. So that's the point. Um, Actually, we use the process. We have designed a process and now we are going to use it. That's exactly what we do when we start this kind of run. Okay? Then, if you remember, we talked about reporting. We are going to collect information. And when we collect this information, we are going to use the treatment, data treatment, and it's going to help you to evaluate the situation. Okay? That's the reporting. And finally, we talk about the optimize. Optimize shows me the possibility to work with, well, we want to make better decisions. And if we have a good reporting, we can use the optimize to have a better management. Okay? That's optimize. Now, I'm going to look here, the design. You have many elements. We started from the boundary, the pool, then we move to the name, the names, and finally, after doing all the names, I move to the start event, the task, the other task, the gateway, another task, so on, and many of the things associated. Okay, so I start to introduce all of them, associate all of them, and there you have. This is the package delivery process. Okay. Um, well, and you have seen also all the details, all the features that we have for each one of these, elements that we have. Let me tell you that the process center is a BPMN compliant, and the icons that you see, the symbols that you see there are compliant. Okay, so because we need to transfer the same diagram and over the system, and if we have the correct icons, there is no going to be any problem for that. Okay, so that's the idea. Okay, so then I started with a start event. You can see for the green one, and with the liquid toolbar, this one, I select the task and place it here, and so on. So I started to move here to construct the gateway events, and also it was like that, you know? Another task there, then another task, a gateway, and so on. So I started to construct everything in that way. Okay? So, well, this way of constructing things, um, well, let's see that. I was just designing all of this. I was planning all this construction, and there were obviously each one of these icons that you see, the status, the process, and so on, each one of them have their own properties. Well, tomorrow we are going to see dynamos, okay? We're going to see how to design them and how to work with them. So I'm going to show you how is the behavior of the dynamo, how we can act with all of that. Well, for me it has been well, this is the first one. I know that it takes a lot of time because I need to explain and everything for you, and the first time it's very theoretical, no? It has a lot of theory, but it's a nice introduction. Okay, that's the BPM. Well, thanks for all. Thanks for your attendance. I'm going to see you tomorrow. Okay, Tuesday. Bye. See you. Bye bye.